Let's now take you to the NDC's headquarters, where the party hierarchy is addressing a news conference. Let's take you there live.
FM, Live FM, Sweet FM, Rich FM, Nice FM, Ubruma Kuma FM, Cape FM, Oprimpong FM, and Harbour Radio. In the UT region, we are live on UT Radio, Buim FM, Gateway Radio, Miwasi Radio, and Key FM. In the Afro region, we are live on High Radio and Genesis FM. We are live on Nkyogi FM in the Savannah region. And in the Gov't region, we are live on Gov't 1 TV, Sela Radio, Global FM, Swiss FM, Lukusi Radio, Della Radio, Shine FM, Holy FM, Kekeli Radio, Freedom, Power FM, and the Yuba Radio. In the Upper West region, we are live on Wed FM, Zeps FM, and Source FM. In the Northern region of Ghana, we are live on Diamond FM, Kesmi FM, Amana FM, Radio Tamale, Might FM, and Asase FM. In the Western region, we are live on Western FM, Fact FM, Trinity FM, Empire FM, Radio 360 FM, Sharp FM, Best FM, and Silver FM. In the Upper West region, we are live on Tumpani FM, WFM, Radio Wa, Gulu FM, Mac FM, and Boom Radio. We are live on Lom FM, Scap FM, in the northeast region of Ghana. In the Bono region, we are live on Tyne FM, Akonoba FM, Ashroma FM, Jinyame FM, and Shalom Radio. In the Bono East region, we are live on Akina Radio, Winners FM, Fabia FM, Atubu FM, Alive FM, and Jima FM. Finally, in the Western North region, we are live on Akwabia FM, Max FM, and Rainbow Radio. We are also live on Kumasi FM in the Ashanti region of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, I will humbly appeal to all of us to observe some order in the auditorium. We are about starting, and so if we can seize every movement at this stage. If you haven't put your phone on silence, kindly do so now. Let us have order so that we can finish early. Ladies and gentlemen, as I hinted you earlier on, we are addressing you this afternoon on the latest matters arising from the stinking Agyapa deal. Since the special prosecutor released his reports on the deal, you have not heard the National Democratic Congress address you, the media, and the public on this matter. And so today, our General Secretary, the only general in Ghana's politics who has been on the field for a couple of weeks now, touring the length and breadth of Ghana, suspended his talks to come to Accra and address the nation through your esteemed platforms on this important issue. And so, without wasting time, I will invite to the podium the General Secretary, Chief Executive Officer of the NDC, Honorable Johnson Asiedu Nketia, to address us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the media. I welcome you with much gratitude to today's press briefing, which is the 16th edition of our weekly press briefings on key issues bordering on the governance and development of our dear nation. Today's encounter has been occasioned by the need to continue to add our voices to those of many patriotic sons and daughters of our land, many in civil society, and indeed all who are concerned about the alarming proportions of corruption, unprecedented nepotism, and grand thievery that has defined the presidency of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo over the last 4 years. Indeed, one of such cases of nepotistic thievery is the now infamous Agyapa Royalties deal, which continues to hang like an albatross on the neck of our president and his corrupt government. Only last week, the special prosecutor released a report of a corruption risk assessment that his office has carried out on the Agyapa deal. Suffice it to say that the special prosecutor, Mr. Martin A.B.K. Asiedu, found nothing new or novel to that which we in the NDC have always known and believed this Agyapa deal to be. The NDC and several patriotic civil society organizations such as Imani, Isodec, BIAC, ASEPA, the Ghana Integrity Initiative, IDEC, the coalition of CSOs on the extractive sector, among several others, have long maintained that the Agyapa deal is a bad deal for Ghana, and that it was only a matter of time for the stench from this criminal enterprise called Agyapa to become obvious to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, we have long held the position that the Agyapa deal was fraught with illegalities and driven by corruption, cronyism, and sheer greed, all in furtherance of the state capture agenda of His Excellency President Akufo-Addo. These were the very reasons why the NDC minority in Parliament boycotted the approval of the deal when it was brought before the August House of Parliament. Indeed, the leader and flag bearer of the NDC and the next president of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is on record to have served notice that he will abrogate the deal when elected. And the entire NDC have vehemently opposed what we considered to be a corrupt deal, cooked within the corridors of power for the benefit of a few greedy family relatives of President Akufo-Addo at the expense of the state. These issues that we in the NDC have constantly raised relative to the Agyapa deal are what the special prosecutor has come out to confirm. The corruption risk assessment conducted on the Agyapa scandal by the special prosecutor confirms our long-held position that the whole Agyapa deal is simply daylight robbery. As found by the OSP, the transaction processes and mandate agreement violated the Public Procurement Act, Financial Management Act, and the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. Hence, they are all null and void. As a matter of fact, the processes leading to the transaction agreements and mandate agreement were shady, opaque, and fraught with procurement rigging, stonewalling, fraud, statutory and constitutional breaches. These are not my words, they are the words of the special prosecutor. The evaluation of our gold royalties and transaction agreements that His Excellency President Akufo-Addo and his corrupt New Patriotic Party approved was a rip-off and an affront to the sovereignty of our dear nation. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the OSP has found that the mandate agreement under which billions of cedis have been paid to companies like Databank, which is owned by the President's cousin and Minister of Finance, Kan Oforiatta, African Legal Associates, which is owned by another cousin of President Akufo-Addo, Gabi Asare Ochiridako, and their foreign partners are illegal and therefore null and void. What Ghanaians must be interested in at this stage are the steps the Akufo-Addo government is taking to retrieve the illegal payments that they have made to these companies. This is because you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. If the agreements under which these companies were made are null and void, then so are the payments made thereto. Hence, they must be refunded to the state. Interestingly, I did not find anywhere where the special prosecutor insists that these refunds must be made immediately. Friends from the media, the NDC is appalled by the refusal of President Akufo-Addo to crack the whip on the finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, who supervised this daylight haste, and his deputy, Charles Adubuahin, who fraudulently signed the mandate agreement when he had no locus to do so under our laws. It is sad, but unsurprising that these government officials who are responsible for the shady Agyapa deal, which has occasioned a huge financial loss to the nation, are still at post. In any serious country, Ken Ofori-Atta and Charles Adubuahin would have been suspended pending criminal investigations, or better still, under criminal prosecution by now. Sadly, in our case, President Akufo-Addo has decided to shield these corrupt officials from punishment, as he usually does. We must state without any equivocation that the attitude of President Akufo-Addo, who has earned the unenviable reputation of being the chief corruption clearing agent, does not come as a surprise to us in the NDC. This is exactly what nepotism does to a country. It completely blinds leaders and weakens their ability to crack the whip on their errant and corrupt appointees. We are therefore not surprised that President Akufo-Addo has not shown any interest whatsoever in punishing his corrupt officials who have been found culpable in the Agyapa and broglio and retrieving billions of taxpayers' monies that have been paid under the shady deal. President Akufo-Addo has time and again proven to be the chief enabler and promoter of corruption in his government. He has continuously defended and shielded his corrupt officials from punishment since he took office, as was witnessed in the Gov't corruption scandal, the PDS scandal, missing excavator scandal, Australian visa scandal, just to mention a few. And for emphasis, I want to depart from the written statement and to repeat that when we talk about nepotism, and the response is that are they not qualified? What it means is that if you are a president and you have your brother as maybe the chief prosecutor of offenses, you have your sister maybe in the courts, you have a cousin being maybe the majority leader or something, and there is such a problem about corruption, and you are supposed to take action against your blood brother. Not many people can do it. In our African context, if you tried it, the bigger family will come around in the night and call you to order that this is your brother, so don't do it. That is why it is dangerous for any nation to govern through nepotism and seek to justify nepotism by paper qualifications. If you are asked now to go and arrest your father, how many people in Ghana will do it? So that is the scenario we are facing now. The people involved in this Agyapa deal are all related to our president. Can you imagine President Akufo-Addo ordering the arrest of finance minister, who is his cousin, or Gov't, or the other people mentioned in this report? He would rather leave them there and bear the shame, or try to still justify it. So, please, those of you who don't know about the role nepotism plays in corruption, it's a classical example. Indeed, the fact that President Akufo-Addo himself blessed this shady Agyapa deal from the beginning and continues to affirm his confidence in his cousin, the finance minister, even in the face of overwhelming evidence of corruption against him, speaks to this complicity, his complicity in this whole Agyapa scam. The evidence shows that President Akufo-Addo was the very person who approved the stinking Agyapa deal and supervised the illegal payments made to companies owned by his cousins and their cronies, in flagrant violation of our laws and against the national interest. President Akufo-Addo was the chief mastermind and promoter of the shady Agyapa deal. Hence, he cannot be trusted to bring his accomplices like Enoforiata and Charles Adubahin to book. And there is ample evidence in the Special Prosecutor's report. First, the deal did not go to Parliament, to Cabinet. It went straight to the President for executive approval, which was granted. And the established processes for seeking executive approval are all known. Ministers go to seek executive approval through the Secretary to Cabinet. On this occasion, because perhaps the Secretary to Cabinet may not be a member of the family, they chose to process the application for executive approval through the Executive Secretary to the President, who is a family member, another cousin of His Excellency the President. And then the President, in approving in giving the executive approval, chose to add other things that the minister didn't even request. So the minister requested for 1, and the President granted him 3. It means that the President has the right, because he's the sole, he's the initiator. So if you are coming to request for something which he thinks is not sufficient, and other things must be added in the grant, he will grant you more. Have you seen any bank where you apply for a loan, then they will give you more than what you applied for? This is what happened in the Agyapa deal. And you saw a deputy minister who knows very well that he does not have the capacity to commit this nation to such a deal. And who knows that the chief director of the Ministry of Finance is the chief officer who could commit the nation. Or in the worst case scenario, the finance minister himself. And yet, they chose to select somebody like the deputy minister, I believe he was pushed to do it on the pain of being sacked if he refused. Because that is what is playing out. But finance minister thinks that if his signature is detected on these documents, they will be citing his company as conflict of interest. So he thought that cleverly, if his deputy signs it, it is okay. But the key principle in management is that you can delegate authority, but you cannot delegate responsibility. The Minister of Finance is still responsible for the execution of that deal. Simplicity. And when you peruse the document very well, when the special prosecutor was asking for documents and information, the chief director found it extremely difficult to bring the information timeously. And the office of the special prosecutor itself surmised that it is because the chief director, who is supposed to be the principal person executing this thing, was sidelined. And so it became difficult for him now to get the documents and submit them to the special prosecutor. And I don't want to remind the members of the press that this is 1 full year after the passage of the Right to Information Bill. If within government, one officer is requesting for information from another government institution and it is not forthcoming at the right time, what will happen between me and you if we go to request for information? And yet you all jubilated when the Right to Information Bill was passed. And you all came out to congratulate the President and Parliament. I'm sure if it is possible for you to withdraw your congratulations, you will not hesitate in withdrawing that congratulation. Indeed, the fact that President Akufo-Addo himself blessed this shady Agyapa deal from the beginning and continues to affirm his confidence in his cousin, the finance minister, even in the face of overwhelming evidence of corruption against him, speaks to his complicity in the whole Agyapa scam. The evidence shows that President Akufo-Addo was the very person who approved the stinking deal and supervised illegal payments made to companies owned by his cousins and their cronies in flagrant violation of our laws and against the national interest. President Akufo-Addo was the chief mastermind and promoter of the shady Agyapa deal. That is why he cannot punish any of his appointees who is found culpable of this shady deal. This is why we in NDC continue to take on President Akufo-Addo by exposing the pervasive cronyism and nepotism that he has been superintending over. Nepotism and corruption are inseparable bedfellows. Nepotism will always breed corruption. With his family and friends occupying various key positions within his government and the state machinery, it goes without saying that President Akufo-Addo lacks and will continue to lack the moral high ground to stem the tide of corruption and malfeasance that have engulfed his government. Ladies and gentlemen, President Akufo-Addo and his government can never recover from this embarrassment that this Agyapa deal has brought to them. Indeed, many were those in this government, including their surrogates, who defended this fraud in the face of overwhelming evidence. That this vehicle called Agyapa was one vitiated with colonialism and illegality. The MPP majority caucus in Parliament used their numbers to railroad an illegality in support of the family and friends cabal at the helm of affairs today. Now, and I don't blame them, because any single MPP MP who has found occasion to take any position against Akufo-Addo's policies have suffered in their primaries. They go down there to tell your people that you are a stumbling block to Akufo-Addo's plans, so you must be removed. And it has happened. So I am very, very sure that members of the majority in Parliament acted out of fear, because we are living in a state of fear. It is not as if people no longer have conscience. They do, but they are scared. Now, here we are with President Akufo-Addo yet again trying to shift blame by shamelessly directing the deal to go back to Parliament. Why should a bill which emanated from the executive and passed unanimously by the majority caucus in Parliament now be portrayed as though it was an error of judgment on the part of Parliament? Friends, we are sorry to disappoint President Akufo-Addo, but there is absolutely no way he can exculpate himself